So I'm with my former teammate, not just my former teammate, you're one of me good mates in rugby, the great Stuart Hogg, the retired Stuart Hogg.
Yeah.
31.
Mate, I can.
I know.
I can that.
Many people, Hogg, you're looking at this being he's retired early. The leg gave out, not the legs, the leg gave out.
Yeah.
Maybe just give us an idea of that mindset. I know it's a story that's been told, but we can go into a little bit more detail.
It became increasingly frustrating over the past couple of years. You know, I had patella tendonitis, something that you've experienced, mate.
Yes.
How bad? And I just got to the point that I just felt I was doing the same thing day in, day out and getting no reward on the back of it. And it just became all too much because my body affects my mood. And having 3 young kids generally turned into a horrible person to be around. And I was like, this is unfair on everybody, because you talk about making sacrifices to be where you want to be. In all honesty, I think it's my wife that made all the sacrifices, because she upsticked, moved away from home, and then I'm the one that's an absolute nightmare to be around. So I got to the point I was like, yeah, enough's enough. And my little man asking me to play football in the garden one day, and I was knackered. I physically couldn't do it, and I was like, it mentally broke me, and I was like, yeah, enough's enough. And you know, I decided to call quits on my career. I've loved it. I've absolutely loved the past 14, 15 years, but I just got to the point, enough was enough, and it was my time to move on.
Did things get loose and wild towards the end? You don't need to go into details, but
there's a lot, mate. There's a lot of crap going around, and it's actually it put my wife and I in a pretty dark place. And you know, it's not nice to hear all these things going around, and you never really have a chance to justify yourself. And yeah, like it has been pretty horrible. Like, I wanted to retire and have a bit of fun and be myself, whereas all I feel I've done from retirement is try and justify myself as a person, and it has been pretty bleak.
As a young lad, Hoggy, you burst onto the scene, big smile. But I know for you, you always played for something more. Part of your story isn't all glory, is it? There is tragedy along the way as well.
I got to the point when I was maybe 16, 17 that I was completely lost. I didn't know if I wanted to stay in school. I didn't know what I wanted to do as a job. I didn't know where my life was going. And then, you know, I got a chance to join the National Academy at Murrayfield. And when I was getting my entry medicals to go into the academy, my brother was in before me getting his exit medical. So it was a kind of bittersweet time for the family, because he was the one that genuinely wanted to be a rugby player. He was the one that absolutely adored it. Like, he only ever wanted to do that, whereas I wasn't really fussed about it. And then for him to get his dream kind of taken away from him, and then me come in, it was like, well, I'm going to have to do a job now. I want to try and play for us both. And then just when I got announced to get my contract, I was involved in a car crash that killed my best mate in 2009. And I got to the stage, I was like, well, if I'm going to be the best rugby player I can possibly be, I've got to play for lots of different people other than myself. So, you know, my best mate Richard Wilkinson, who was killed, my brother, whose dream was to be a rugby player, all that kind of thing has defined me as a person. And yeah, like, any time I've ever put on a jersey to play rugby, it's you think about these things, and the older you get, the more you realise how big an impact these people have had on your life. So yeah, like, every time I took the field, mate, it was more than just playing for me.
For Scotland to beat Ireland, what do we need to change?
I didn't think we got to see the best of what Scotland had to offer. South Africans shut us down within 3 or 4 phases the other week. So that was the difficult part. As soon as we get into a rhythm, that's when we're at our best. So, you know, multi-phase rugby, keeping the ball up off the floor, keep it moving, and just front up. I thought the boys fronted up incredibly well. So, you know, it's make or break now going into the Ireland game, and this is going to be massive. So, you know, if we want to qualify for the knockout stages, then it's going to have to take the best Scottish performance we've seen in a long time.
How good are Ireland? This is make or break for Scotland. We've struggled against Ireland notoriously, historically. How good are Ireland?
They're unbelievable. Unbelievable. The physicality they've got up front, the way that they defend with Andy Farrell being in charge, they're an absolute nightmare to play against. An absolute nightmare, because defensively they're very, very strong. They do the choke tackle that everybody hates. But then in attack, they've got one of the smartest rugby players I think I've ever come across in Johnny Sexton. He can change it like that. I've seen it in games that he's come up a set-piece play that he's seen something in the first half, whatever, and in the second half he creates it and they score tries from it. And then you hear in interviews after the game that they're playing what's in front of them and they're changing as they go along. So they are an incredible rugby team, and you know they're number one in the world for a number of different reasons.
Johnny Sexton, is he as important as we all think he is in terms of Ireland's success in the World Cup?
100%, because as I say, like, you talk about inspirational rugby players and leaders, and he's exactly that. You know, they're one of the best standoffs in world rugby for the last 10-15 years, and the captain on your side, he's going to be at the forefront of everything that's good for Ireland. So if we want to be in a position to win this game, we've got to get after him. And you know, as I say, he's the heartbeat of that Irish side. So it'll be an interesting matchup when it's him against Finn.
I said he should have retired at 34. What do I know? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's 37, and he's that important to the number one team in the world.
It just shows what a character he is. Like, he'll work incredibly hard on absolutely everything. He's had numerous different injuries over his career, and you see him strapped up to play, and he just keeps fighting and going and going and going. As you say, 37-year-old, probably in the best shape of his life, still playing unbelievable rugby for the number one side, then you've just got to say fair play to him, don't you?
South Africa showed a way of playing against Scotland that we really have always struggled against, and we struggled again. Rushing Finn, the line speed on the outside. Ireland will do exactly the same.
Yeah, they absolutely smashed us defensively because they came rushing out of line, as you say, put a lot of pressure onto Finn. You know, and it wasn't just the initial pressure on Finn, there was pressure coming from the outside that was blocking off the next pass. They knew exactly what they were about. And Ireland will do the exact same to Finn. So it's a massive challenge for us to get, as I said earlier, to try and keep the ball alive, because if they're going to continue to bring line speed after line speed, you've got to find ways of being creative passes, creative offloads, you know, a little kicking, a little attacking kicking game. We just got to be there for Finn and have multi-options around him, because he is the heartbeat of our side, and everything good comes from him. But he'll find avenues to get around it. He's a very, very clever rugby player and an incredibly talented rugby player.
If Scotland don't make it through into the knockout stages, who are you supporting? Surely it's Ireland. You're related to George Best. Surely it's Ireland. Say it.
Yeah, I'm related to George Best. Yeah, I'm not. Nah, I'm not backing Ireland. I'm going for the host nation. I'm going for France.
I'm not asking who you're backing. Who do you want?
I want France.
You do want France. Why?
You know, the way that I've predicted it, it could be a France-Ireland final.
And you want France over Ireland? I want Ireland.
Oh, mate.
Tell us why.
There's no right or wrong answer. All I know is somebody's going to have an opinion on this on the back of it.
But I thought you would have picked Ireland you're related to George Best.
I know. It would be amazing if Ireland won. Don't get me wrong.
For rugby and for the romance and the carnage around celebrations, why not Ireland? Imagine the Emerald Isle.
Do you know why I think I don't want Ireland? Is because I think I only beaten them like twice in my career, and I hated playing against them. Anytime you played against Ireland, you knew when you woke up the next day you were going to be battered and bruised. And I just got so frustrated with playing against them. They were a very clever rugby side that, yeah, I'm probably a bit bitter that I only beaten them a couple of times throughout 14 years. So for the Northern Hemisphere and for World Rugby, we need a Northern Hemisphere winner, in my opinion, and it'll either be France or Ireland.
That's massive.
Mate,
that's massive.
I'd love to see either of them win. France, because they're the home nation. I think they've got some of the best rugby players in World Rugby, and then Ireland because they're just their friends from across the water. But yeah, mate, that's one of the trickiest things I've ever had to answer.
No. Oh, you've got another tricky one to answer now.
Mate, here we go.
We're going to ruffle a few feathers in Ireland. How many Scotland players would make it into the Ireland team? If the last question wasn't hard, this one here. This is like topical, which people want. The Irish fans are going to hate you. Whoever you could say one player, and they'll be going nuts about it. Especially now that you want France to win. Do you think any of the Scotland players are good enough to play in the Ireland team?
100%, mate. 100%. Well, I'd take Finn. In my opinion, he's the best 10 in world rugby.
Over Johnny Sexton?
Over Johnny Sexton.
Okay.
It sounds silly, but they offer completely different things. I think Sexton's game management is absolutely incredible, but I think the freedom that Finn gets to play with, you get to see his genuine talent. I'd take Big Doohan on the left wing.
Ahead of James Lowe?
Ahead of James Lowe. Both very, very good rugby players in their own way, but just Dewey's try scoring record. James Lowe's got an incredible left foot that makes a massive
Scores
difference.
A lot of tries as well,
mate, I know.
You've got to pick him.
Mate, I genuinely think my body's started to feel a little bit better.
What,
yeah, I reckon I could go back and play now because these questions are absolutely hellish.
So Hugo Keenan, you take his position, is that what you're saying?
No, he's class. He's class. He's got better and better over the past couple of years, and if we were to pick a Lions fullback at the minute, he'd be in every day of the week.
So we've got Finn Russell at 10.
You've got Finn at 10.
Ahead of Johnny Sexton. We've got Duhan van der Merwe ahead of James Lowe, who I love James Lowe as well.
See, I only concentrate or understand what happens in the backline, Jim. So you can pick the forwards now.
Oh, I don't think there's much between Andrew Porter and Pierre Schumann. I think they're both very similar players. In the second row, I'm loving Gilco at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm loving Grant Gilchrist at the minute, I'll be honest, but you look at the quality that Ireland have got. I think Gilco would be in a shout. Maybe not for James Ryan, maybe with James Ryan.
Yeah.
With his experience, he has an Irish kind of aura in terms of the physicality, the line out, carries well. Yeah, but that could be at their back row. Ireland's back row is unbelievable.
Quality.
Josh van der Fleer, good looking bloke as well, not that matters. Caleb Doris, Ty Byrne, he'd have to play 6 if Gilco went into the second row with James Ryan. The quality.
And not have Peter O'Mahony involved.
I like Peter O'Mahony. I don't think he likes me, but
I don't think he likes anybody.
He always looks so angry. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Is he not happy unless he's in the garden? What's he like?
Because a hell of a garden, though, by the way. Do you know what?
And what?
I found myself looking at his Instagram stories quite a bit and looking at his. Mate, the lines in the grass are incredible.
That. Angry man. Hell of a garden, though.
Yeah.
What's he like? Me and him.
You'd have him in your team.
Oh, I love it.
You know, if shit hits the fan, he's got your back, innit? He's got your back. I think he's absolutely tremendous. You look at our back row at the minute. You know, we've got Hamish Watson, we've got Rory Darge fighting for 7. You've got Jamie Ritchie, the skipper, at 6. You've got Matt Fagg and Jack Dempsey fighting for the number 8 position. So Scottish back row isn't in a bad place at the minute.
One thing we're lacking, and I think Ireland are lacking the same, compared to if we say that right, South Africa have got the best back row with Jasper Wiese, Duane Vermeulen, Peter Steph du Toit, Sia Khaleesi. You look at the France back row as well with Aldreet and Olivon. The size of them back rows, if we're talking about 2 of the best teams currently in the world with how they're playing, I think Ireland lack a little bit of size in the back row, whatever that means, but just aesthetically, and Scotland do as well. It seems like the tide is changing on the size of the back row.
I think you look at that numerous times. Their physicality is up there. They are crazy ball carriers. You take one player off and you bring a bigger bugger on. You know what I mean? But then you look at our back row and you'll say that Jamie Ritchie is not the biggest ball carriers, but he offers something completely different. He's a ball player. He has the ability to attract defenders and put others into space. He's got lovely silky hands. So we've never been a side that have had absolute monsters. It's just not us, apart from you, Big Jim.
But I just lack power, speed,
and the ball handling ability.
I used to be missed. I was a decoy.
Yeah, we were always told that there's no such thing as a decoy. Everybody's a genuine option, but when you were playing, you
just
were
keep your hands down. They said run, but keep your hands down and keep your head forward. It's not a knock on.
Like our game plan, you know, I think we could potentially do another big ball carrier. Like we've seen it a couple of times when Matt Fagerson's played 6 and they brought Jack Dempsey on at 8, and the 2 of them when they play. Massive ball carriers for us. But you know, as soon as you play 2-8s or like a 6 and an 8 like that, you lose the ball handling ability of a Jamie Ritchie or a Rory Darge or a Hamish Watson. So it's but as I say, we're not in a bad place, but we play different styles of rugby.
Can Scotland beat Ireland? We built the narrative against the world champion South Africa more based on hope as opposed to expertise. The big question that everyone's asking, a team that we haven't beat, realistically, can we beat Ireland, or are we hoping again?
We can beat Ireland. We can beat Ireland, but it is genuinely going to take the best performance possible. Like we haven't seen that for Scotland for a while. It is going to. We always talk about 80-minute performance. You generally need to play for 80 minutes against this lot, because if not, you'll find yourself 3, 6, 9 points behind. They'll build a score, they'll build momentum, and it's a matter of when they're going to score, not if. So you've got to front up defensively, you've got to play for the full game and take every opportunity. You might get 3 or 4 opportunities in attack, and you have to take every single one. I'm excited about the game because I think we can win. I know we can win. I know how much effort the boys have put in, not only just during the pre-season, but for the number of years, because the last World Cup was a disaster for us. And ever since then, we've been building to get to where we want to be. We've never won a Six Nations, we've never won massive trophies, and that's something that we're very, very close to doing. I love the boys, and I love everything around Scottish rugby, that I care massively still about this side, that, as does the whole of Scotland. We need a massive performance and a massive win to show what we're genuine about, and I know that we can do it, and I can't wait for them to do it.
Hoggy, Stuart, love that. We're in Marseille. Really enjoyed that. Let's go and get, what do they drink in Marseille? Hey, let's go and get a cold one, eh? Let's go and get an Asahi.
Good idea. I'm keen for that.
Yeah, on
I'm
brand.
keen for that.